The Hangout is live. Hey folks, this is Price is Wrong from Battle Vortex, and this is the Battle Pirates Roundtable. Our group page is in my background right here, bp.battlevortex.tv, and we have a pretty nice little panel. Looks like we got a couple open spots still on here if anybody else wants to join. I did post the Hangout link on this page right here. It's behind me. And it's also on the event. I know all of it kind of went out short notice. I know Liam was initially going to be hosting today, but I'm not quite sure what's going on with him. So hopefully he's okay. So I'm just kind of picking all this up last minute. But anyway, we do have a new arbiter with us. Extremix C29 is a new Battle Pirates arbiter. I'm sorry, Battle Vortex arbiter on the show. Yep. So he's just signed up with us this week, and he would have a really cool overlay like what I have right here if his camera was on, but it's not, so we have to look at his profile picture.
Sorry, guys.
It's like in the air already.
Not enough coffee.
He's getting as bad as Liam.
Well, anyway.
Hey, I'm actually here.
Hey, well, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I really don't have an agenda today, so I guess I wanted to see. I don't know if anybody's got any kind of feedback from the Thursday night show, or if there's anything that's currently going on in Battle Pirates that folks are want to discuss. We can just do open mic the whole show if you want. So I guess what we can do probably start with Black Atticus all the way on the very end. How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad.
And I know you were kind of briefly mentioned something, right before I clicked start broadcast that you wanted to talk about. Was there something that you wanted to discuss that maybe we could have everybody on the panel talk about?
No,
Was I mistaken?
I'm good for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, White Star, did you have any topics you wanted to discuss this week?
Yeah, it looks like we seem to have got that base bug back where you put your fleet into repair and wake up in the morning and it's still got 7 or 8 hours left in it.
Yeah, I've been hearing that complaint quite a bit lately. So it definitely seems like there's some kind of a repair bug going around where the I guess it's like this: the repairs slow down overnight, right? It's like they don't stop repairing; it just really slows down.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
I think it's just repairs in general, and fleet builds in general. Like before the Reaver removal campaign started, I still had all my tokens left over from the last one, so I had 2 days left in my build. So I used all my tokens that should have covered all 2 days, and instead I still had 30 minutes remaining. So something somewhere is going screwy with the build, repair, refit times altogether, in my opinion.
So there's some math problems currently going on in the game. I guess I'll try to share this show immediately with some of the developers that I know immediately after the show, and just so people can investigate. I guess there's probably already been posts made on the forums.
There's been posts on the forums. It's been a bit messy with what. There hasn't been anything major from the mods or anything about trying to get anything done, because initially it just appeared to be some very limited occurrences, but now I've been hit by it. I had my VTH Frosty fleet going for repairs overnight, 7.5 hours on it. Yeah, wake up, 4.5 hours left to go on it.
Yeah, that's not cool. Did you put a ticket in it all on that yet?
People can investigate. I guess there's probably
I'm about to.
There's been posts on forums.
All right, I got it right here. That was new run. We have another run show up here. Oh, looks like Upper. I muted him too. Sorry, guys. You need to mute your YouTubes. It's definitely feeding back into the audio here, so I apologize to the audience. But anyway, have you put a ticket in on that Black Atticus at all?
Yeah, I'm currently in the process of filling it out.
He froze. Did you? What was that?
He's currently in the process of filling out a ticket right now. I think is what he said.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely curious what the replies would be.
No, I'm going through forums right now, and it's a mess. Everything's everywhere. We got one but I'm not seeing anything about repair times at the moment. The closest I've found so far is someone mentioning that 6 hours worth of tokens or something for building a ship, and they took 7.5 hours worth of damage to the fleet or something like that.
Well, that's different.
And then they attributed it to the
That's
fact
a
that
lot. That's a lot of damage for the first wave.
yeah,
Sorry about that, guys.
that's right. Yeah, and they're attributing it, and they're saying maybe it had something to do with this gold sale that Kixite had going on for 1 hour. I don't know if it was country specific or not. They're basically selling 200 gold for
Cheap.
$15 or however, whatever the exchange rate is for wherever you're at. So and that lasted for a whole hour, and a lot of people are saying it had something to do with that. It was adding unnecessary coding or whatever it was.
I'm just happy
There's-
that apparently for once there was a glitch that I finally wasn't affected by, so I'm pretty happy by that.
Yeah, there you go.
Very true, very true.
Me personally, I don't know. I just haven't really been on but do anything but repair my guard after my hits lately. The last couple of days, I'm kind of hoping I still got to get on there and do my Reaver removal campaign, and I got to get my Forsaken missions done still. So I got some chores I need to get done this weekend. So hopefully tonight or maybe tomorrow sometimes. But I got some real life stuff I'm working on too. So you will see. But well, cool. Yeah, definitely. If anybody's having that issue, needs to get their tickets in, definitely, and I'll try to pass that on to who I can as well. But I guess let's see. Anybody else has got topics they'd like to see discussed on the show today?
I believe, Horatio, didn't you mention something you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, on Thursday we talked about the ability to upgrade our hulls. I don't know if we've talked about that many times before, if someone is fed up with that discussion, but if not, I would like to talk about that.
You mean retro?
No, I actually mean the ability to take one of the normal hulls you have and upgrade it to one of the limited hulls you can bring through the campaigns. I know.
Yeah, wish list show is probably a good idea. Yeah, it probably is a good idea. I know we've done them before on the roundtables, and that is actually a really good one, and that's one that I've discussed myself before. It's definitely a really good. Me personally, I think it's a great idea. I think it's awesome.
Me too, but I didn't quite understand the arguments from Extreme on Thursday, and I think that was because I haven't been playing for the last 5 or 6 weeks almost. Only thing I've done is the Forsaken missions. I didn't do the ride, the event. I thought it was crap. So I didn't know that the hosts you can win through the campaigns also are able to be retrofitted. And I think that was what I didn't understand when we were discussing it on Thursday.
All right, Ryan's moving furniture back there.
So
I'm sitting right here.
We had to meet him again.
But if that wasn't your point, I would love to talk more about that, especially with Extreme, since we talked about it on Thursday.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So the idea sounds nice in theory and all, but the problem I'm having with that let's check the holes we just had for like the Zoe Stingray. That just got upgraded to R5, and I guess the requirement you mentioned was before you could sit there and transition one hole over to the other, you have to sit there first, if possible, to get as close as possible to the stats.
Yeah.
I guess the issue I was having with that was, so with the Stingray in general, you have to sit there and spend all the uranium to get it to R10, and then you got to go win Zoe Stingray, and then you got to sit there and migrate it over. But the Zoe Stingray now has the ability to go to R5, which completely outclasses the R10 Stingray in the first place. So that's more uranium you have to spend anyways to retrofit it. And with the holes we have available now, it just seems like more time and effort and resources than is actually worth.
Okay, well, I agree with that on that hole, but we do have several other holes that I was also thinking about, like the Sea Scorpion. The Sea Scorpion, the normal mod, can't get retrofitted.
Okay.
So my thoughts were that if you have built it, and if you later on win the Sea Scorpion A, you should be able to upgrade the Sea Scorpion to a Sea Scorpion A using your shipyard. And another point was when I rank my ships, I get around a little over 4,000 points using the Salty Dogs crew. But I can't spend more than 2 hours a day ranking, or else I'm going to go crazy. So it takes me over a month, maybe 2 months to rank a whole fleet. I need around 200,000 points, and I average around 8,500 a day. And I can't play every day. So if I had a Sea Scorpion and it was fully ranked, I would never go try to win the Sea Scorpion A because I already had the other Sea Scorpion fully ranked. But I would try and win the Sea Scorpion A if I could upgrade my Sea Scorpion to a Sea Scorpion A. And I think I could use the same logic on all the other holes you can win through the campaigns. Why try and do the campaigns and win a hole that would only be slightly better than the one you already have and start all over again, ranking them?
Well,
I love the idea personally. I have a Stingray fleet that, in my opinion, is useless at this point. But if I could convert it to a Zoe Stingray and then retrofit it up to R5 to get that 40% range buff, man, I'd be all over that. I would, if it meant salvaging that fleet that is already, I mean, it's not like legendary or anything like that, but it's got a pretty decent amount of rank. And I don't want to have to completely rebuild a Zoe Stingray fleet. I'd rather convert the one fleet that I have over rather than building a whole new fleet. So
you would not build the Zoe Stingray at all?
Yeah, I have Zoe Stingrays limited hulls right now, but they're just sitting there, and I'm not going to build them. I have no intention of building them because I already have a full fleet of regular Stingrays.
Yeah, so your motivation, if you didn't have the Zoes, would not be to do the campaign.
Yeah, I'm not doing the campaign to get any more. I got one.
Yeah, and I believe you also have the DNX.
Yeah, I have at least one of each one of them because I've done some videos, for my stream, on the campaigns. So I've done the campaigns really just for the experience one time, but as far as doing it 5 times, I've not done any of them 5 times because I've already have the regular hulls, and with rank and they're built. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but with the limits, with the ability we have in the game today, would you ever do the campaign to win the Spader DNX?
No.
No, but if you could upgrade your normal DNX to a,
I'd consider it. Yeah, I would consider it. Yeah.
So basically, does anyone have any motivation to do the campaigns at all?
Well, I mean, if the rank the new players do. If the rank transferred over, so that way you don't have to re-rank them, then yeah, that sounds like an interesting idea. At the same time, I believe you mentioned one of the prerequisites to make this work would be you have to win one of the holes first, so that you actually have like a blueprint to work off of.
Yes.
So you'd still have to do it at least once. I mean, the idea sounds great in theory, and I'm not opposed to it, but there'd be a lot of stuff to work out, so that way the player doesn't feel like they're wasting resources.
Yeah. I agree. I haven't thought about the entire idea, and we don't have to implement it for every hole in the game.
Yeah.
But they could start with the holes that we can research and let at least the lower players be able to upgrade. Just have a look at Huggies. We should be able to upgrade in the beginning the Battle Barge, the Leviathan, the Hammerhead, Sea Scorpion to the Hammerhead A, and yeah, almost everybody, all the other hulls have the A after the name. So Kicks, I could have started with them, and later on start with the different hulls that you can win. I had another example, the Triton. I have 9 anti-morts on mine, and I have ranked it up to 70%. And that's fucking hard when I only have one UAV on it. And I don't have any Holox Tritons because there's no point for me to get them. But I would try to get at least 1 or 2 of them if I could upgrade my Triton to the Holox Triton and still keep the points, the rank points.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it sounds like a great idea in theory. Just really
Yeah.
needs to be fleshed out a lot more.
Yeah.
All right.
The only problem I can see as a player is that Kixeye is going to lose out on the 22 days of the ship build that you won't have, and that'd be probably the only reason that you won't get that.
Well, and just to argue on Horatio's behalf is they're not going to have that 22 days anyway. I mean, would they rather have like a 5-day, like a refit time in the shipyard? Because the 22 days simply isn't going to happen. You know what I mean? From the build time, that's just not going to happen anyway. But you know, why not at least get like an extra 5 days? You know what I mean? At least then the Kixeye is getting something. So and not everything's always got to be about you know, as much, you know, revenues they can pull from an individual as possible. You know, I mean, I know that's kind of what the spreadsheets and all that crap is for, but you know, every now and then you just want to do stuff to make sure your consumers happy, I would think.
Yeah. Sometimes you actually make a lot more when you don't milk them for everything they're worth.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
But let me take an example. I got my nuclear cruisers fully ranked 75%. It's I have got all the armors on it, the specials, weapons. They're 100% finished. They came out with a new run, the Hellblazer, and that takes 8 days to build. I would gladly coin those 8 days for the 4 hulls I've got, if I could upgrade them from the nuclear cruiser. It's a similar hull. But I would never build it if I couldn't upgrade it. And it's easier for me to coin a 5-day build than a 22-day build, especially if I could also keep the rank points. So I believe if the price would have gone down, I think more people would actually coin to get a new fleet done if they already had a fleet which they could upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least I would.
Well,
I would pay for that.
Yeah. Well, are there any other opinions on the from the people here on this particular issue, or was there like another issue some folks would like to discuss?
The only thing I gotta say about the 22-day, it's ain't like we don't have enough holes to keep them busy in the shipyard anyway.
That's true, right? We got a queue. It's, if your shipyard ever spends any days not doing it something, then you're probably not that serious about the game anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I just came up with a while ago a 31-day interceptor build.
Jeez.
Interceptors wasn't even a hellhound.
What?
Ugh.
And you probably got the good stuff.
Nah, I didn't even have the weapons to make it. It was just me fantasizing over something I'll probably never get again.
I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with that new hole from the raid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but there's a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out.
Do better.
What was that, Toxic?
So there's a lot of things that Kicks could do better.
Yeah.
And listen to the players more.
Yeah.
But Kicks being they're not doing it.
Yeah.
And you know, it annoys some people, and then other people think that why should they get an easier way when they had it the hard way, and you know, and the communities I think is split on that. But I have to say I agree with Horatio. I would, you know, coin a little bit more, but I can't see it. I mean, all you have to do is look at this last raid. It's supposed to be a what is it, base defense hull that was to be coming out. And all base defense hulls have a repair modifier of 50%. But now Kix has gone greedy again and made it 75.
Yeah.
And it's just they're just going one better all the time.
I saw that too. But you know what I think they're going to do? I think they're going to come out with the VXP repair specialist that once you get up to legendary, it'll reduce that repair time back down to 50%.
Yeah.
That's what I think they're going to do.
But you got to think about it has thermal on it, so they have to give you want something, you got to get something. So it has thermal, so you can't really ask too much.
Yeah.
But don't forget, it's also a ballistic hull, so it can't really hit subs.
But thermal, if you have that G1 for the turret right there, you're perfect as long as it's in the range.
Yeah, are you talking about the gargoyles? Yeah.
The gargoyle.
If you have other turrets, yeah, because that's basically helping them be visible. The Deadeye Destroyer too has got retargeting, so that can hit subs while they're submerged. It just doesn't shoot very fast. But if you're using your behemoths for like spotting for Mastodon that's got lasers on it, you know, obviously they'll be able to shoot at any subs that are coming through as well. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of ways to make use of that thermal.
Yeah.
So, but 75% is still a lot, though. To be honest with you.
It beats the 200% everything else has.
Exactly.
or 150, that is. I don't know no hole that's 200 unless you got subs.
And
400%, isn't it, for the Hellstar?
400% for the Hellstar and Proto.
There's only like 20 people have it. What they said on Thursday. So hey.
Well, that was actually a guesstimate on my part. I actually didn't get any kind of hard figures from Kixeye. I was just kind of guessing. You know, I know at one point, I knew exactly how many it was. I knew it was just one. But then, you know, I think the second day, I heard somebody else say they counted like 15, so I assumed by the end. I mean, it was just like I said, a guesstimate on my part. I didn't get any hard numbers from Kixeye, but. So yeah, that's not a 20 is not an official hard answer.
I know. I was just saying. But still, 400% for an I win button is a good way to keep it.
And don't forget that the Cuda has 300 if you do not even have the repair specialist with it.
But isn't it like 400 with the Proto Nemesis, the Phantom, or the Nighthawk?
I think they're both 400s too. Yeah.
Here, I can tell you real quick.
Yeah.
It'll take forever if I was trying to do both this.
Yeah, me personally, I don't see. I know initially, and this is one of the things that kind of frustrate me is that I know, like the VXP repair specialist came out, and everybody's just like, well, give it a chance, you know. I mean, which you know, I'm all in favor of giving it a chance as long as we're not married to it, and I'm kind of feeling like, you know, that they don't feel like they fully implemented it yet, so that. You know, maybe they're not really looking at our judgment. Because me personally, I just don't see it as being. I don't see it as being a solution. I don't see it as a solution. It's because it has not really helped me at all. I mean, legendary fleets, not very many. And there's a lot of legendary fleets out there, but it's like, you know, I don't know how so many people get so many legendary fleets. You know, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people coin rank. They don't have a problem spending $900 or $1,000 on a fleet. You know. To me, that's crazy talk. I just can't believe there's people out there that exist. I mean, what I've always known about wealthy people is that they're wealthy for a reason, and stuff like wasting $1,000 on a pixel fleet is not a good way to remain wealthy, right? So I don't know. I know it's just extra money, but I can't wrap my head around it. I just that's not the world that I live in, you know. But there's people out there that do it, and you know, Kixeye makes some money. But you know, based on the reward, you know, which of reduced repair times, based on you having legendary fleets, that's basically only rewarding those people, and the rest of us are still kind of stuck with the 400, 300, 150% repair times or 100 repair modifiers. And I just you know, I just don't see that as a way to progress the game. I think they're progressing in the wrong direction.
It does fall under the category that you talked about several times, though, as far as rewarding people that play more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and you know, I definitely think the people who coin, they do it for an advantage, right? And I think it's crazy that everybody, the people who don't spend anything feel like they should be on an even playing field as the people who do spend. To the people who do spend, they spend for that advantage, and I'm okay with that. I just I don't know. I think too much of the game these days is talk anyway. I think a lot of people. I think if there wasn't so much trash talk, there wouldn't be so much animosity in the game. But there's just a ridiculous amount of trash talk. But again, that's what makes kicks some money, right?
Well, it'd be a little bit easier if they made the points ranking a little quicker, so you don't have to spend as much coin. Because one armor point, you give me 10 points per ship for a fight. Are you crazy? That's like 3,000 ships to get all the way to legendary. That's crazy talk. Now that's crazy talk.
Huh? I never did completely understand that whole ranking thing. So you're saying at however many armor points, they have on the ship. So it's, I know I've often heard that it's better to have no armor.
Yes.
And that's because you get more VXP.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't think it's
It's
true.
not so much. Yeah.
Oh, it's true.
It's not so much. It's true. It's not so much. The formula is you get 1 VXP point for every 10% of the ship's damage you deal. So for a ship to get 10% dealing damage, it's got to do the equivalent of its armor on the enemy ships.
I had to retrofit my Hell Strikes, and I took off my my armor just to see if I could get more points, and I almost doubled the points in 50 minutes using my Salty Dogs crew compared to what I got when I had the armor on.
Okay, last month I had a Warbird built, fully armoured, and I had 2 Crusaders with no armour on at all. And I did the UAFs last month for them. All 3 ended at 54%. So how can you say armour counts?
Well, now I guess Black Atticus seems like he's got it down pretty good. So let me ask you this, because now he mentioned how the offensively earning points, right? And that's basically every 10% of the damage you deal to an enemy fleet results in 1 VXP. And so is the same thing then as possible? The reverse is probably also true, where when you receive, every 10% of damage you receive also equals 1 VXP, correct?
Yeah, that's.
And so the lower that number is, so if you have more armor, then basically they have to do more damage for you to earn 1 VXP. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, so that kind of is starting to. I think you helped me get a light bulb to go off above my head. So I think maybe I'm seeing it a little bit better now, because I've always had a hard time with that, but I don't know. When I start looking at words, a lot of times the words start moving around the page, and I kind of things start to get fuzzy. So I'm better with Audible.
They just need to make it quicker so you could get ranked faster, because it's so big deal, and I play every day. So I shouldn't have to be on here for like 8 hours a day making a career out, since I already have a job.
Yeah.
Unless they're paying me.
What's an appropriate amount of hours you think that a person should commit a week to be be credible in this game? I mean, you know what I mean? In a week, 10, 20 hours.
I would say 28.
20. I would say 2-3 hours a day.
Yeah, I'm thinking about 4. 4 a day is 7. That's plenty, because after 8 hours of work, I come here, get some food, and get about 2 hours, and that's another 4 hours. And that's 14 hours, and 2 hours of doing whatever.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be 4 hours at once, just throughout.
Yeah.
Well, and then how long do you think, if you were ranking a whole fleet, and if you played for 4 hours a day, and let's just say you did ranking for about half of that, just say 2 hours a day, okay? And then you actually did other things for the remaining 2 hours. So if you did 2 hours, that's 14 hours a week. How long do you think it should take to get a fleet up to legendary rank?
I think you should get a fleet all the way built, and then be able, by next raid, be legendary if you do it all the way.
So you think you should be able to have a brand new fleet, completely legendary, and everything in less than a month?
Yeah, and that's about 100 hours right there.
My friend of mine, X, who, same guy I always talk about, he more or less did the same thing. He got his Crusaders built. He had a salty dog handy, and within a week, he went from no rank up to about 60 some odd %. Because
I have the math here. On the Atlas carriers, you need 37,625 points to get legendary. If you have a four-hull fleet, you need 150,000 to do the whole fleet. That means that with an average of 3,500 points each hour, you have to rank it for 43 hours to get it legendary. Now, if you rank 2 times a day, that's 21.5 days.
Wow.
But how many how many VXP do you get per ship? Are you hitting 51s or 71s or 75s?
I have that as well. Just give me some
I
seconds.
think 71s and up, you get roughly. I think it's like 10.
It's 10 points for the.
Per
Yeah,
ship.
If you
Yeah,
die,
per
get an extra
ship.
10.
10 points per ship. 51s, I believe, is 5 points per ship, and then below that, it's not even worth it. But yeah, one thing I wanted to add to that, friend who sat there and got his fleet ranked up like that, all he did was hit salvages. That's it.
Because you don't get nothing. You don't really get nothing for hitting bases. You don't get really nothing for dredges, and you definitely don't really get much when you do the raids.
Well, what I was saying was like there was no unidentified raiding fleets involved, was what I was getting at. So I'm more or less kind of like agree with you. If you put in the time and effort, you should be able to have a legendary. Obviously, if you don't have the time to do that, then that's
Personally, I think like every 2 weeks they should put in a time-limited campaign for unidentified raiding fleets. The campaign lasts for a day, and I think that would take care of almost all the VXP problems.
That would definitely do it.
It
When
would.
when I was ranking my Atlas carriers, I got 104 points when I did a 71, and I got 76 points doing a 51 with Salty Dog's crew.
okay. So yeah, it's about the norm. Yeah, I like the idea of a time-limited campaign to identify raiding fleets because what I've noticed is they're either a pain in the ass to do, and it's very limited on what you can hit them with, or they're so easy that you're competing with everyone and their mother just to try and find one.
Yeah.
Me personally, I gotta say, I probably only hit like 3 or 4 ERFs this last time, but they come on Thursday, and it's just very inconvenient for me. I mean, not only because, like, obviously I'm being an arbiter on the Battle Vortex show that's also Thursdays. I got late the show prep and all that kind of stuff. I mean, just saying the Thursday time frame for me is really bad. I complain about it every month, but I don't know. Now that we have some flexibility in the show, maybe we ought to talk about. Maybe I'll talk to Nash about moving the night of the show or something. I don't know.
The first time those fleets came out, nobody knew what they were, and I ranked both my 2 fleets of Spectra in one day, going after them. But since I always ranked my fleets without armor, I can't use any other fleets to rank on those unidentified ranking our riding fleets. But I did around 250,000 points the first time they came out.
Yeah, I remember the first time they came out. That was a bit of a shock. No one knew what they were. Everyone in my sector I was in bum rushed them. I'd never seen them before. I was like, sweet, no target, no idea what's in there, no idea what they do, but I'm going to hit it anyways with the random fleet and see.
I think I was in 395, and I think for the first 8 or 9 hours I was the only one hitting them in my sector and the 5, 6, 7 closest sectors, and I was doing them all night. And I am 6 or 9 hours ahead of most players. It's 30 minutes past midnight at my place, so I do recall I did them all night and was done with my Spectre fleets.
I have to say, I think the ERFs were a huge success this time around. They weren't stupid hard, and I saw tons of people out doing them. So kudos on not making them ridiculous like they usually do.
Yeah, it was a good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it was
agree.
a good URF run this time. I only went out once because for the Thursdays it's Friday here, and I'm at uni most of the day, so. But
I gotta
those
say,
I
man,
did hit were good.
I jumped to my alliance and where I'm at right now, and they've been hitting in sector, and so basically we got locals out trying to snipe all of our fleets too. So I've been really reluctant to even go out and do my Forsaken missions because I just don't want to deal with that, you know. But
Well, that's one thing about ranking, because usually I held my alliance, and so I don't really have much time or ranking anymore.
Best thing to do, Bryce, is go into 3 or 4 sectors away. That's what I did.
yeah, it's a good idea. I should probably do that. See if I can find somebody that knows me and doesn't mind me doing it in their sector, because I know where I'm at. My home sector is like right next door, and those guys, they'd probably all sink me if they could too. Well, anyway, I guess topic-wise, I know Ryan, you brought up the next raid event. What did you want to discuss about the next raid event?
Well, all I was saying is they, like you guys said on Thursday, should come up with a new idea, because we've been knocking this one into the grave.
Yeah, I definitely don't like the having event targets that don't give you any event points. I don't like that one bit.
Yeah, but these holes that we get can't really use them so much on the raid like it used to be. It's like you get through it and then you'll be able to use it next month to help out. Now, I'm still trying to figure out when I can use my Hellhounds to do the campaigns right.
If I were you, I'd be doing the exact opposite. I'd trying to figure out a way to not use them because of that
No, I
150%
know
repair modifier. But
it doesn't do anything for the raids, so I'm still using other ships. I can't even really use my MCX fleet with the D55Z on them. That's R11 right now, because they'll just blow up when you get inside the rockets. So
I only hope that we can
I've got
get
a bit of
some
an idea on.
grinding targets for the next ride, or else I'm not going to do it.
I'm really
I don't care if I have to sit down and play for 8, 10, or 12 hours straight. I would do that if I didn't have to take all the repair. But last ride you had to grind and spend coins.
Yep.
I just fucked it. I didn't do. I did 1 million points, and that was that. I didn't do anything practically.
I personally think this format of raid would go a lot better, and a lot of people would be way more happy if the campaigns gave sector points too.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Last raid, my alliance did a lot of the heavy lifting on sector points just to get the sector store open. After that, they just stopped because we didn't get sector store open until the last day. It was clear to the big guys that we weren't going to get the platforms open, and because almost nobody else in the sector was lifting any weight themselves, they just wanted to hit their campaigns.
that's
You
what I
didn't
did.
even reach the first target.
Yeah, I probably did. I know I did coin quite a bit on the platforms. I really liked. I did enjoy being able to have access to uranium, and that had quite a bit of uranium. That was kind of awesome. I did love that. I just wish I would have got sector points too, but I did just mainly do the siege campaign for my event points because it was the most cost effective.
Which one did you do, the elite or the
Siege. I just mainly did siege campaign. I quite honestly, I didn't even try elite campaign. It took me a couple days just to get myself motivated to even participate. Plus I was on call, so.
I think the elite was far better. I didn't get to start doing the raid until Saturday morning.
Well.
Yeah, look, I've got a bit of an idea on a raid. Not so much the format or the way it's currently run, but what kicks do at the moment. They'll bring out a raid, and it goes for 6 weeks or 5 weeks or whatever it does.
Oh, you mean like months,
and
right?
It's in month, yes. And then it gets harder every month because people are getting used to it. Now, why don't they bring out a raid, whatever format it is, and make it a percentage of difficulty? Let's say 10 is impossible and 0 is very easy. Why don't they make it like 70% and leave it at that? So people can then find out what works. Lower level players could play the raid because they've got to maybe build a fleet or do something. They would then have 6 weeks to have the same difficulty. And they would know that yes, my MCX works on that target with launchers on it, rather than having to rebuild and refit fleets for every raid.
Well, I think
Do you all know what I'm getting at?
I think you just answered your own question, though, because if they did that, then people wouldn't have to rebuild and refit fleets, and they would lose out money.
Yeah. Well, one thing I will say is they did adjust the event and during the event, as I understand. I didn't start for a couple of days. It took me a couple of days to get into it myself, and so I understand the difficulty changed. And I know not this month, but last month, I know the elites, for example, the elite campaign changed during the event. But and I read a customer service response to somebody's ticket that they had posted a picture of somewhere, and it was basically they were changing to how they intended it to be. I'm like, I don't understand why the event doesn't start off as it was intended to be, and why it's got to be tweaked and messed around with, because it does seem very shady, and I think it's a really good reason. It's a really good reason why Kixeye has this trust deficit. Is the fact that they do adjust these things, because so many things have to be adjusted after they're implemented. It just seems like it's just very shady, and very good reason for them to have the trust deficit. I mean, to me, it's earned. The trust deficit they have is earned, and I think they should be working towards that.
Yeah, I mean, Kixeye even says that they start working on the raid the second that the current one starts, and they continue working on the next one all the way up until it actually starts. So the more or less they spend a month working on each raid, it's like, well, this raid the bare minimum basic raid format itself, minus all the unique targets, has been going on for about 2.5 or 3.5 years now. And if they still can't figure out how to sit there and properly build and implement a raid, that they're still changing things halfway through, then they need a new approach to it. Because changing stuff halfway through is complete and total BS. Even if they do have it down, they're still spending a month testing it and everything. So you tested the targets. They should be working as intended. Why are you changing them? Why?
Well, I thought it was ironic how for months and months and months they said we don't change the raid while it's going on difficulty and stuff like that. And now they're coming out and actually saying, yeah, we tweaked the raid difficulty. It's like, well, why'd you lie to us for the past 6 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Robot said that one time on the show that they didn't actually do that, and I actually did believe him. I just figured it was they probably just augmented some numbers, but actually seeing game mechanics change in the middle of an event is that's something that I'd never seen before, but I definitely seen it.
Yeah. Aside from damage increase, you normally don't really notice the difference, and this last one I actually did, because in the elite, the big hulks, they normally outside. And one of them, I actually saw him go inside the base and try and run me down.
I didn't have that one.
Yeah, I had that happen to me a couple times. Like, what? Is the pilot drunk or something? You can't even fit through there. How do you get stuck?
I did it 8 times, and that's it. And they were far easier than doing 5 bases.
I started the raid and I was really excited about it. And I went into the targets that I normally go into with the fleets that I normally go into. And all of a sudden the fleet almost died. Where last raid, I could do 2. And I did the siege campaign or whatever it was once, or the elite or whatever it was. And then I said, bugger it. I mean, a 75% base build or repair modifier. No, I said bugger it. I've got my gollies not even built yet. Why would I need a behemoth? So I stopped there right on 3 million points. I didn't do any more.
And don't forget about the 45 and the 43 spawning. Those seemed like they were tweaked a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say that as well. Chat brought that up. They became the most sought-after targets because they're the easiest to grind on with the decent point payout. Suddenly they all just disappear. It wasn't just one sector. It was all over the forums. It was across the worlds.
Yep.
You just couldn't find any of them. It was all 61s and 65s and the targets that nobody wanted to hit.
Well,
The
there's some.
damage.
I heard a theory from another player about that, and it sounds like it's a pretty reasonable theory where if the targets spawn at random, okay, if they spawn at random, so that means if you have the 20s, right? Was it 20s, 40s, and 60s? You have 20s, 40s, and 60s, and so basically you have like a 33 point. I mean, assuming it's all equal, right? You have basically a 33% chance of a 40 spawning. So if 40s are what people are going after, they're not necessarily going to be replaced by another 40. There's only like a 33% chance that they're going to be replaced by another 40. So I understood a lot of people actually had gotten to the point where 61s were the only thing that was remaining on the screen, or 61s and higher. Because everybody was going after the lower targets. So it's because, those were, you go after those, like I said, it's only like a 33% chance that it's going to, another 40 is going to come in place of that. And so then it would seem logical to me that, eventually you would possibly run out of 40s. And I think that may have been what happened. It sounds very plausible. Sounds like a very plausible theory to me.
Shouldn't they implement like if a target isn't hit for, say, a day, it should blow up and respawn in less than 5 minutes?
Yeah, they used to have that.
Yeah.
Right. That is a very good point in theory. But when there's still players hitting the 61s, not as many as those hitting the 43s, but when they're still being hit throughout the raid, and they're just not responding, it's just 61s and 65s the whole time.
That is true, though. I do remember that when the targets used to blow up, and then other things would, and that was a good point. So maybe that's something they can do going forward too, if they're going to continue with similar targets.
Yeah. So
just put a health bar over the top of it. You can see when the health bar runs out. It's close to the end. You just don't hit it, so you don't, just in case you don't get the points.
Well, I remember we used to have to actually send a gunboat or something there to do some kind of a damage to a target to keep it from despawning. I remember having to do that.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the possibility of doing Forsaken missions more than once in a week. They brought that up every day.
I know.
Are you talking just like repeating like Tier 4 over and over again, something like that?
Yeah, that'd be a great idea.
I guess it depends on how they implement it, honestly.
I thought Doom
it
was
really does.
I would do the Forsaken mission twice if I could. I only spend around 90 minutes doing it.
I'd probably do it twice on one condition. The uranium is still there. Maybe not at the full amount, and it becomes a decreasing amount for each time you repeat it. But for me, aside from dredges, that's more or less my main source of uranium, because I'm not always able to sit there and hit the dredges every Tuesday and Thursday.
I think they said the uranium wouldn't be there the second time around if they do it, but just the fact that it gives people a chance to get caught up, I think it's an amazing idea.
Yeah, so...
And you wouldn't be able to use it for getting tokens or anything like that, right?
I wouldn't think you would be able to get double tokens or anything. I wouldn't think so.
Well, tokens be a great idea, because that's a great idea when they brought it out. I like them.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. So if not uranium, then tokens. I mean, I'm not saying it's a deal killer for me. If there's no rand second time around, it's still a great idea. So I just personally probably wouldn't be one of the pirates hitting it a second time around. Depends what they offer, honestly.
Well, I mean, for me, if you don't need anything from it, you don't have to hit it a second time around. You know what I mean? It's just for the people behind and need to get caught up. I think it's a great option for them.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not disagreeing with that at all. I completely agree.
And if they could limit it to 2 times, I would think they would give us both the prizes and the uranium. But if you were to do it 5 times, it should be diminished after a while.
Oh, Stream said it the best.
Yeah, I was saying, don't forget that also with the newer players coming in, they're not going to have all that tech, so they're going to have to keep going to Tier 4 over and over again.
We gotta be able to get there first.
Yeah, and if it's only Tier...
Yeah.
They're only able to get there once a week, it's going to take them a while.
Yeah. I guess the only reason why I brought up the uranium and is kind of hopeful that it'd be there, even if it's at a decreasing amount the second time around, because despite Kickside lowering them, still seem to be increasing. Like, Greta's a new cruiser. The amount of uranium it takes to sit there and fully retrofit that is more than we can actually hold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I bring that up.
I'm working on.
Which one is this?
Greta's new cruiser costs like, it's like 300,000 uranium. We can only hold 208.
Oh yeah, well that's for the whole thing. But I mean, if you go through 1 through 4 and then save up the uranium you need for 5 for the 5th one, I mean that's how you would do that.
Sure.
You don't have to. You don't have to. I mean, unless you're going to retrofit the whole thing in like one shot and coin all that time. You know.
If I recall, Enforcers were the same way. They took like a crap ton, like more than we could hold all at one time to do the whole thing.
Yeah. So I mean, like, you know, the first round gives out 25,000, so maybe not 25,000 directly the second time around, maybe something less, but you know, like every little bit helps. Again, especially with the smaller players who may not be able to actually hit the dredges.
Yeah.
Effectively. So.
I mean, at the moment, I would be someone who would hit it twice to try and catch up on the blueprints.
Yeah.
And as such, the extra uranium would be great. At the moment, the 25k from it, because I'm doing a lot of hull stuff at the moment, by the start of the next Forsaken mission, I'm usually almost out of uranium.
Yeah. So, great idea. I guess, as I said, I guess it depends on how they implement it and what they're offering the second time around.
All right. Well, it looks like some of the guys over there in the chat are talking about tokens too. And my opinion on the tokens, I think the tokens are awesome because I see they're over there talking about tokens not very happily. I think the tokens are awesome. I just don't think they're a solution. You know.
No, they're not.
They're not a solution. They are great. It's nice to be able to throw a bone out to some players every now and then. I would think I think it's been very helpful to a lot of people, but it's definitely not a solution for build times or repair times. And VXP Specialist I don't think is a good solution for repair times. It's not done anything for me yet. And I don't see it happening either because the amount of work that it takes to make a fleet legendary is insane. And but I do like the tokens. I just don't think it's a solution.
Well, I think they're a solution if you're a lower to mid-level player and your build only takes a couple of days. But like if you're the end game player, then yeah, they're not really there. I mean, I just spent all my tokens I just earned, and I still got 18 days left on the ship.
Yep.
So.
I also agree they're not a solution, but on the same token, I'm not going to complain about anything they want to give me to reduce anything at this point in time in the game.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Free coins or free coins.
You know, Bryce, I'm a person that looks on the glass half full, and I like to give kicks a chance. They've got good ideas and stuff, and I still do. But they bring these good ideas, or that look like good ideas, that they start implementing them. They get to about 10, 15, maybe 20%, and then they stop.
Yeah.
And then you've got all the speculation coming out of what it's going to be like when it's fully implemented. I mean, all you have to do is look at the what do you call them, the medal system.
Yeah.
What is it good for? What really did it do? Nothing. So why not finish one project, finish it, and then start the next?
Medals were supposed to be converted into something.
It's another leaderboard. I mean, really, the medal system is another leaderboard, and A lot of people spend a lot of coin for that. You know, it just seems like there's a large part of the community that's how they measure their worth is by the size of their wallet and how much they spend in the game. Um, you know, I don't know. It's sometimes there are some really skilled people that in this game still, but
Mm.
I don't know. It's frustrating for me because I just can't afford to compete, you know, and have that practical experience, you know, that so many have.
I think the tokens could be a solution if they made them more available, honestly.
I think you should be able to use metals to buy
I think
tokens.
the potential is definitely there.
If you
Yeah,
could
the
use
potential's Yeah, the potential is there, but as I described them on the forums during the week, sort of, yeah, they're a solution if they're not coming up so rarely that it's just impractical.
Yeah.
I think if you could use metals to buy
Why
tokens,
not put one?
that would bring a lot of life back to the game.
Yeah, a lot of speculation
Exactly.
has been made about metals, and a lot of
Yeah.
ideas have been proposed about them. They just keep getting shot down. They're supposed to do something with the metals that was supposed to benefit the alliance you're in somehow, and again, that just disappeared.
Yeah.
I mean, how badly would it hurt Kicks if they would have put one token for, I don't know, half an hour or whatever, or 15 minutes even, into a normal salvage, you know, into a 51 or a 75 or whatever. Put one token, you know, in every 4 or 5 of them,
It's
just
like
so
a
people, you know, that can even lower levels could get them. It wouldn't hurt Kicks at all, you know.
it's like a
But why
blueprint
don't they
drop
do
rate.
that to help them?
It definitely give the
Yeah.
player more incentive to actually take the time to go rank.
Yeah. If
Even
there was, say, even just a 5% chance of a res dropping a token, I would be out there so much just ranking just to get them.
Yeah, and have the token time amount be relative to the level of the salvage you're hitting.
Yeah.
But don't have it go over an hour or something, so that way you don't have people farming 12 hours or 1 day tokens. Just 1 hour
Mm.
out of a 75 elite, 5 minutes out of a whatever the low level one is. I forget what they are below 40.
31, 20, no, 31, 23, 17, and after that I forget.
Better memory than mine.
I think I still remember them because I was hitting them relatively not that long ago trying to complete my salvage blueprint collection.
Yeah, that is actually. Hey, those actually might make those lucky bastards a little useful again.
Yeah.
Well,
Or is that just?
that'd be good.
I don't know if is there any other thing, any other topics that if folks really wanted to discuss during the show. If not, we'll probably go ahead and wrap it up. We've been going at it for about an hour.
Kickson needs to change the wording in the Bullseye Brigade.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. I heard about that. Well, yeah, I heard about it from you actually.
Yeah,
I guess the Bullseye Brigade is supposed to work on ballistics and missiles and torpedoes, but apparently that doesn't. The Arbalest is an exception to that rule, right? And the crossbow.
Siege
Arbalest,
cannons.
crossbow, and siege cannons.
Yeah, it specifically says ballistic, missile, and concussive weapons have perfect accuracy and will always hit. As most of us have probably seen, does not work with Arbalest. Some guy posted that on the forums, made a valid argument, even suggested, hey, why not just a simple change to the text? And I don't care, I already got into one forum, so I'll say it again. Moderator comes on and shuts it down like a childish troll, basically. Basically saying, oh, so you don't want our answer, you just want to hear what you want to hear. I was like, yeah, but what he said actually makes sense and is valid. So I tried to sit there and repost it and explain the point of views, and I got in trouble with the moderators and was told to piss off.
Well, let me ask this. The splash that people are seeing in the water, are you sure that's not the shots after they penetrated the ship and keep going and then land in the water?
No, because I've put a Bullseye Brigade on my Crusaders using Arbalest, and I'm still missing the target. And I'm not going up against some Reaver mothership Hulk that's got the armor of God on it. I'm talking about like going against these little like fast the little scouts. They're still missing.
I don't know, because I had one on mine last night and it seemed to work fine for me, so I don't know. Maybe they changed something.
They might have. I don't know. I also noticed the same. This kind of also goes back to my other argument with torpedoes when I had that issue. They said the splashes coming up from the water was them hitting a ship. I was like, okay, so why is it after the ship is sunk, my torpedoes are still going? Those same splashes are just still coming up after they hit nothing. So that crew needs some looking at.
Yeah, there's definitely another development issue there, and I kind of feel like maybe a lot of things the customer service they post in their replies. I don't know where they get a lot of their answers, because I've seen some pretty crazy replies from customer service that basically kind of demonstrates that their lack of knowledge concerning the game, you know, and I wish they would escalate internally to somebody who knows, rather than just sending out like just stupid replies that just make their company look bad.
Yeah,
But,
apparently, ticket volume affects ship performance. Who knew? Kid you not? I got that reply, and I was like, wait, what? One, that makes no sense. Two, that wasn't even mentioned in the original ticket. My ship's speed wasn't even brought up. I'm talking about an area of effect for the frostburn.
I mean, I've seen replies from support relating to repair times, saying that repair time goes up the higher your ship's rank. No support. That's the amount of res you need, not the time it takes.
I saw that post, and I replied, I'm like, what? I'm like, they actually said that to you? I was like, holy moly.
Whatever points indicate repair time. Aside from the repair modifier, let's just forget that even exists for about 30 seconds. The armor dictates that.
Well, anyway, guys, I do appreciate everybody taking the time to join us on YouTube and join us here on the panel. I do appreciate that. We really threw this together last minute. I know Liam probably had like really great plans for the show today, and so it probably would have turned out a lot better had he been able to make it. But I'm sure he's got some real life stuff going on, and that's caused him to miss the show today. So anyway, so hopefully everything's okay with him. I guess we'll find out later. But anyway, again, thanks everybody for showing up and watching on YouTube. Make sure you click like and subscribe. I do like the thumbs up. So I don't like the thumb downs, but I guess if I earned it, I earned it. And but I definitely like to see more thumb ups and on YouTube. So, but anyway, definitely subscribe. If for more of these shows, if you ever want to get on the panel, make sure you're a member of this page behind me, bp.battlevortex.tv. We do post in a Facebook event so that you can get a reminder, like usually an hour ahead of time. And the Google Hangout links we generally will put in the event and also on this page back here behind us. So. Definitely come on, have your say. You can come on here, and we always try to make time for open mic. That way, if you do have a topic you want to discuss, we can do that. So, I guess that's it. I'll see y'all on the internet.
See you later.
There you go.
Bye.
Mm-hmm.